Hello listeners and viewers, welcome back to the Astro videos channel on Blip TV or YouTube, depending on where you're watching this. And welcome to the first ever edition of this brand new series. So this is episode 1, the pilot edition of this podcast series. We don't know what it's going to be called yet. We haven't quite figured out the specifics, but the basic gist of this brand new podcast series is basically, here is your host, me, yours truly, James. I will be interviewing a whole range of YouTubers and internet celebrities, if you like to call them celebrities, that is, asking them about their experiences on YouTube and a bunch of other stuff. So it's sort of like a Q&A session with some of my associates that I've worked with in the past, for the past several years on YouTube and other people. So I'd like to thank BDT87 for being my guinea pig in the first ever edition of this brand new series, whatever it's going to be called. So yes, thank you very much, Ben. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, and it's been a long time since we've released any content tonight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it has actually. It's been, well, at least for me, several months since I last did anything of worth. I've done a few vlogs, and of course me and Ben have been very busy doing a lot of university stuff. So how's that going, by the way, university? Is it going alright for you?
Ooh, you know, can't believe it's all coming to an end now. But well, obviously while we're recording this, it's Easter and I've got 3 weeks off, and it's just work until getting into the real world in September.
Yeah, the scary old world where we go try and find a job and stuff, but we're putting that off till the end.
Yeah,
we'll get that bridge when we cross to it, or whatever the phrase is. You know. So yes, so we're going to I'm not going to ramble on, because that's the way I like to do things. I'm going to go straight into the questions. So first of all, what exactly made you decide to start making videos on the internet in the first place? Can you give us a brief, or as long as you like, a sort of history of when you started on the internet?
Well, that goes way back. The earliest memory then, I should say, of YouTube was just this channel which had random videos. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest. My friend did, and while we were in college, you know, we were just browsing the net and watching videos. I just didn't know what YouTube would become, you know, because it was right at the start when it started becoming a hit. And I don't know what made me want to start videos, shall we say. I created an account like I did with other, you know, websites, and I just put my in, you know, the username which I still use today. And I think I started commenting, I guess, at the start before I released any videos. But the two videos which you'll probably see to this day, back when I first uploaded them, was one of the music videos which I did for fun with my two friends in college, and just a random, you know, camera which was able to record footage. When I went to the Pokemon Day camp thing in Toys R Us, you know, those Pokemon events, and I thought may as well just put it on YouTube. But it didn't dawn to me like till later on what I would actually do on the channel. But those are my two earliest videos before I became doing, you know, blogging and other stuff.
So it wasn't a sporadic sort of thing. You didn't create a YouTube account and started making videos on the get-go. It was sort of just a means to post comments to begin with. So the idea to make videos didn't come to you until later on.
Yeah,
okay,
that's correct. And then obviously I surfed around YouTube, and then you see all these different I wouldn't like to call them celebrities, but bloggers then, shall we say, and some of them, and even you know, we know a lot of people back in the day, and just see what you can actually do with this channel, which is extraordinary. That's what it is, isn't it? You put yourself on the internet. It's like your own TV channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And then, you know, I had a go. I'm more of a person to, if it's hard to explain, because to this day I don't like it. I'm more of a person to be behind the camera, as in to shoot something and edit. I hate being in front of a camera. I absolutely hate it. If I see someone filming on the streets, you know, I have to like go around them or cover my face, because I do not like it, and I don't like if they do it without permission and all that. So in my early vlogs, you can see I'm terrible, and I guess not just me, everyone who started wasn't used to it, you know, and especially me, I'm very shy and I just didn't know what to say. And you know, gradually, but I started fiddling around of how I should do my vlogs, you know, with rough cut editing and all that sort, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think everybody is like that to begin with when you know, because, well, of course this show's about you, of course, but, you know, I can relay some of my experiences as well whenever it's appropriate. Well, for me, when I first started on YouTube, the earlier vlogs and the earlier, I used to do a very long time ago, like really guerrilla style filmography by, like, you know, the old let's plays and video game reviews. They weren't very good, they were quite amateurish, and like when I used to do the vlogs where I film myself in front of a camera, I still do that, but I think to a better degree. Well, sort of, they're still a bit crap, to be honest, but I think everybody is like that to begin with. Like, you're not sure what your channel's going to be like in the future. Is that the sort of experience that you had?
Yeah, well, I had no idea what I could actually do with this channel, you know, but the main topics were actually video gaming. And then I saw some unboxing videos. I was like, you can actually do that and get that many views. So I started doing unboxing videos, and so, you know, and like you said, I tried to capture some gameplays or let's plays, you know, without commentary, and that was obviously back in the day when it was so amateur. The camera was actually recording the TV rather than capturing the device first, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't do let's plays because I actually still can't manage to do that. I don't have the software and equipment to do that. Well, I can actually use a capturing device for my Nintendo Wii, but nothing for the PlayStation 3 and anything else. But that's another story, you know. But yeah, you know, I was like, oh, so there's a community of video game, you know, people here, and I was starting to follow them and share my experience of what do I like and what did I buy and so forth, and thinking what games are coming out in the near future.
Yeah. So YouTube, like, as time went on, the idea of making more and more videos become more of a more of a better proposition for you, and like you continue to make videos in order to communicate with people and like join as some sort of a community. Is that the sort of?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, in you know, I posted a music video. I've posted one of my other videos which I did in college, even though they're terrible quality, because, you know, back in the day I didn't know how to make it, you know, this was before HD and all that, remember?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this was like 2006, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I never used to, you know, I saved my work but never onto data, so it was all from DVD, so I had to rip the DVD, and that obviously made the quality worse. But you can see a few of my I would call them experimental videos. Yes, the music's done by me, and obviously the film is done by me because I filmed and edited it. And looking back, I'm like, oh, I've come a long way since college, you know, when I did a music tech course, but I was always on the computer doing video stuff, you know, but that was usually, you know, the music side was helping me to do creating videos, because, you know, music's a big part of videos as well in many aspects, in films and everything. So the first things I did was actually music videos, shall we say, and from then on it just came into films and everything. But that's what I'm lacking of, is actors, and I'm glad for the last couple of years I've met new people who share the same desire as me, doing, you know, media, and we can actually crack on and do, you know, for example, I've actually showed my documentary, which I did this year, and that's on YouTube, you know.
But I was going to ask you actually, did you ever in some of the videos that you did, you went into you started to branch out into the live action stuff. Did you ever have any problems garnering some of your friends to help you out to actually film those videos, or was it actually a lot easier than what I experienced in making videos?
Well, what you did, I did all the time, but this was way before YouTube, and those footage is too embarrassing, and you know, it's just basically us skateboarding and all that, you know. But at this moment in time, I would say it's not going to be appearing online anytime soon. But after I discovered YouTube and all that, all my friends and etc. just didn't want to be a part of me filmmaking, so I was lacking actors, you know. The only things I could show is the stuff which I created in college, where you must gain actors and you get contacts and so forth. But you know, if I had the people who wanted to do skits, whatever you want to call it, I would gladly make them, but I just lacked of friends and so forth.
So it's, I guess, that's one of the difficult things when you first start off on the internet. I guess it's when you especially when you want to like experiment and going into the live action stuff, like what sort you want to do, sort of like parodies and some of the ideas that you just can't put them into motion because the simple fact is you don't have enough actors or people available to help you out, and that's a problem that a lot of people experience, I guess. And you know, did you ever find that like college and stuff got in the way of making videos at any point?
College I had a lot of time in college. That was fine, but when I and especially when I finished college, which I had a kind of a gap year, and I had all the time in the world, and that's when I actually had my PS3, and you know, Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, I believe, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, all those games came out, and I was on the ball then to making videos. I had a lot of time, you know, because I wasn't working. I could just bring out videos nearly every day. And then when I moved to Cardiff, I had problems with the internet here and lacking camera, didn't work. So the first years in Cardiff, shall we say 2008, I believe it was, from 2008 to 2000 and I'm trying to get this right, 2008, 9, 10, especially I think it was 2008. From 2008, those first 2 years was very busy, you know, and I just didn't have the right equipment and to record much. And last year was fine, but I was just busy with uni, and I was always travelling. I don't travel now to uni. I only need to cross the road. But last year I had to travel, and I say I didn't have the time, but I could have, or didn't have the time to produce something, but I guess I could. But that would have been limited to my webcam, which you've seen in my last couple of blogs. And obviously, every time I go home, I try to bring something out because it's kind of quicker and easier to do it back home for some reason. But here, it kind of takes kind of a lot of time.
I guess it's the motivation, like I guess like the you know back when you used to travel to university to and fro from home and stuff. But now I know of course you don't because you live on campus. Is that right? You live right next door.
Yeah, I lived in campus for 4 years, but the first 2 years I had to travel to my university campus, and this year it's basically across the road, which you know I have had a lot of free time, but you know, that doesn't excuse that I should be should be working, you know.
Yeah, and I was just saying, like I was just going to say, the travelling between university and home it really does affect your motivation to do anything, doesn't it? Yeah, definitely. I would have thought.
Definitely.
You know, because once you've like been on the train for several hours and like you say, I'm going to do a vlog, and like when you get home, you're all shattered and you don't want to do anything, and like that. That would have affected, I would have thought, like the want to do anything. Okay, so that's cool. So any particular style of video that you made in the past? So you mentioned you prefer to be the, I guess, like the producer of a video rather than like star in the video. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So you, any particular video that you produced that, say, can you think of that really stands out?
Well, I'll say I really enjoyed making the retro gaming collection, I believe it was called. There was a few episodes of in the series containing games from the Master System and the NES right to the PlayStation 2 era, and obviously you don't see me, you just see my hands showing each game. I think they got pretty well received, which I'm really happy with that, and I liked how I made the title and the ending credits. Nothing fancy, but I thought the way I used the clips, the sound effects from the commercials onto that was kind of cool, I guess, but looking back it's whatever. But I really enjoyed making those series, and maybe I will do a reboot soon. The two that really stands out for me, which because I had a lot of views for it, and looking back I know I could have done better. The lighting was terrible, you know, and I could have done it better quality as well. It was the Sonic 3 review and the Zelda promotion disc review. From those two, you could say I was, everybody, not just me, everybody since they've seen the Angry Video Game Nerd has done their own style of review like that. I wasn't, you know, particularly angry. I really wanted to do a review, but showing other stuff rather than just the game, like how I got the game and so forth. And I thought, since I've done those two, I really want to go down that reviewing aspect again, but I just haven't had the time and the, not motivation, but the software and the camera which I use now is really dated. But when I have time, and I keep saying that, and it's been nearly a couple of years now since those videos have been released, my next big review would be something similar like that, and I think I will keep to retro reviewing. But the only thing, like I said earlier, that capturing game footage is kind of hard for me at the moment because I don't have the
lack of equipment. And exactly, a lot of people have problems. Like it's basically your ambitions are limited by what technology you have. Like not everybody has access to decent cameras and recorders to capture devices, especially to do like video game reviews and stuff. Of course you can, you know, do it the old-fashioned way and point the camera at the television, but you know that like that's old school. That's the old school way, pre 2007 sort of.
But I don't mind, you know, like sitting down and explaining. I did that quick fire review, didn't I, beginning of summer last year.
Yes.
And I only produced a couple of 8 episodes. I didn't mind that, you know, talking to a camera, saying my thoughts of the game. I probably will get back to doing those. So stay tuned. But for the big review, I want to go back to how Sonic 3 and Zelda looked like with me.
Go in more detail. That'll be cool. I'll be certainly watching out for that. So I just wanted to ask, sort of how long on average does it take to make that sort of review that you did? I know they're time consuming, but do you know how long? Is it a couple of weeks or something? How long does it take to you on average?
From now on, when I produce something, it will probably take quite a lot of my time with the edits. I really like editing, but I don't have the best editing software. But with Sonic 3 and Zelda, that was actually edited on a Windows Movie Maker, which does obviously sound terrible, but it's so quick and easy to use, and I thought I could have done it better here and there when I watch it back, and for some reason, this is before 720p as well, it just uploaded so fast. It was fast, you know, once it's out, it's out, and I was happy.
It was sorry to interrupt, but it was sort of like the de facto, it was for me anyway, it was like in my early videos anyway, it was the de facto editing software because it was like it was really easy to use. It's great for beginners. You can just put in simple text, and that was all you wanted really for early videos. And then it became insufficient after time. Like I guess when your ambitions grow and you want to do more effects and like you want to do higher resolutions and stuff like that. Was it the same for you? And
yeah, with the quick fire reviews, I can produce those easily in a day. You know, that's fine. But if I wanted to do a review such as, you know, the same style as the Sonic 3 and Zelda, I would rather have a better editing software, which I have now. That's all I'm saying, you know, because I could actually, you know, work on it to make it really good. But with the quick fire review videos, it's simple. It's just me talking. It's like a blog, basically. You know, just film done. You know.
Yeah, I will say this to people for people who are interested in filmmaking. I think we both agree that if you're first starting out on YouTube and like making vlogs or whatever it is, game reviews and things, Movie Maker, even if it is basic, it is the perfect starting point when you first getting off onto the YouTube or the World Wide Web or wherever you want to put your videos. It's the best place to start. Then once you've had a play about with it and you know the basic concepts like of a timeline and title editing and stuff like that, once you've got to grips with it, it would be a good time to start thinking about like upgrading your software. If you are at that point thinking about carrying on and starting to take the making videos seriously, think about upgrading your software to something. Like, what do you use, by the way, to edit your videos? I know you usually. I know you've got both a Mac and Windows, but what do you prefer?
Prefer a Mac, definitely.
Do you use Final Cut Pro? Is it called? Or?
No, that's what I really would like to have, and that's when I do eventually, hopefully, have it. That's when you'll see me really getting back into, you know, doing reviews like I wanted to. And what I use right now is just it's just a simple iMovie, so that's easy to edit, you know. But
yeah, that's the default software
the default.
That comes with it. So
Yeah.
it's good. You know, my brother's got a Mac now, you see, and he's starting to use that software. I heard it's pretty good. But why would you say Final Cut's better? Is it because more options and
just obviously there's Adobe Premiere now and everything, but when I started learning editing, it was Final Cut Pro, and while I was learning that in college, I did have a Mac PowerBook before this Mac, which I have right now, and you know, I had Final Cut for it, and obviously that PowerBook died a couple of years later because there was a problem with his battery and everything. But you know, I've always sticked with Final Cut. I just find it so much easier than anything else I've used for Windows, except for Windows Movie Maker. You know, iMovie is alright, you know, but if I had the choice of anything, it would be Final Cut Pro.
And for those who are interested, like if for Windows users who don't have access to a Mac, the one editing software I recommend personally is Magic. Any of the Magic's Movie Edit Pros. I think the latest one is 16 or 15. I'm not entirely sure, but the one I use in particular right now, because I got it, I was quite lucky. I got it free from Amazon. It's called Video Pro X. Which is essentially a beefed up version of the Magic's Movie Edit Pros you get standard from you know, the PC World or whatever. I like it because it offers quite a lot of advanced techniques, like if you want to start doing green screening and prattling about that sort of stuff, and it supports a lot of formats, and it's similar in use to Movie Edit Pro, so it's good for intermediate. So it's more of a gentle jump if you want to start doing more advanced videos and stuff like that. That's my recommendation. But Mac users Final Cut Pro. Get to grips with that because that's the de facto software, I think. But how much is it? Is it like £200? It's really expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's around £800. So
£800?
Something like
I thought it was £200.
No.
Crikey, I thought, wow, there you go then. Well, mine's a lot cheap. Mine's The Movie Edit Pro's about like 40 or 50 quid. So there's also Sony Vegas, and of course Adobe Premiere, as Ben's just said. I haven't used them myself, but I've heard they're pretty decent for the money. So there you are. So I'm rambling on a bit here. So Ben, any particular, out of all the videos that you've made on YouTube, are there any videos that you are really fond of for whatever reason, and can you explain why?
Well, what videos I'm very fond of? Just the ones which I've just explained, the Sonic 3 and Zelda and Retro Gaming Collection. And you could say, when I discovered there was a community of people who are doing DVD collections, I was like, I have a decent amount of DVD collection, may as well show mine, you know. But I know a lot of people actually just buy DVDs constantly. I'm not, and I didn't want my channel to go down that road that I'm just a DVD collector, you know, YouTuber, because I'm not. You know, I'm interested in video games as well, and anime and any other stuff, and obviously making videos, music videos. It's my YouTube is a variety, you know.
Yes, so you don't want to show people that you want to do a variety of videos and stuff. Yeah,
that's correct. And fair enough. And when I don't regret it. But as soon as I did some DVD collection, a lot of DVD community subscribers started to subscribe to me, and they just wanted more and more and more, and that's fine, but you know, I can't keep up with them, and I don't tend to waste my money just to buy a DVD which I don't want just to show in a video, if that makes sense. And I keep saying, you know, I'm not a DVD Blu-ray YouTuber. I buy what I want, and I think my collection is pretty sweet. It's not massive like some people are, but it's just my collection, and I'm here to share it with you, you know. And I do actually appreciate some of my DVD collection videos, because I've had so many views in that, especially with my anime collection, because there's a big anime community on YouTube as well, and I've had so many views on just a particular franchise, for example, Naruto franchise, a Studio Ghibli franchise, or even the whole lot when I show everything in my collection. There's so many views, and I am grateful for that. And you know, I keep doing it nearly every year, you know, show what
like
else.
An annual update sort of thing. Yeah,
I think I've done that for 2-3 years now, especially with my CD collection as well. But I think it's fun to show what you have in your collection. You know, obviously you got to start off somewhere, and a lot of people can't get the views because they only have a small manga or DVD collection. But you know, looking back, when I started buying DVDs, I didn't have a lot. It just came over the years because I wanted those DVDs. I didn't buy it for the hell of it. I didn't buy it just to make a video on YouTube. I bought it because I wanted it, you know. And a lot of people think, I know that I'm not going to name anyone, but there's a few people there who just buy for the sake of it, shall I say? So
yeah, exactly.
Especially with video games as well. You know, I only buy video games which I want. I'm not going to buy one for the hell of it. You know.
Just for the sake of like getting a few quick views. Yeah, exactly. I get you. Oh, okay, interesting. So that actually links into what the question I was going to say. So as you've said, you like to make a variety of videos, and like of course each type of video has its own particular audience. Do you because you make a variety of videos, do you find it difficult to try and please everybody, like the different audiences in your videos, or do you think it's quite easy to get everybody involved? Because you've got like for instance, the DVD collector fans, you've got the video game fans, you've got the vlog fans, you've got the podcast fans. Do you find it difficult to please all those audiences that subscribe to your videos, or do you think it's quite difficult to do that?
No, it is extremely difficult, I think, because it just shows of the people who do comment, obviously appreciate very much, and if you're not interested, that's fine, you know. But if you subscribed thinking I'm a DVD YouTuber, like I said, you know, I'm not. I'm I'm this as well and this as well. So you got to bear in mind that sometimes you won't see any DVD collection or update videos for months, you know, and you'll just see gaming collection videos or whatever, and then, you know, it comes round and round. That's all I can say. And you can just see by the comments and the likes of what, if everyone's interested or not. But I think majority of my subscribers are only interested in one thing I do. So, you know, I got, like you said, some of my subscribers are only interested in my anime. I think most of them are actually anime and gaming, and then there's a smaller group who like my DVD collections.
Yeah, personally, again, like you've said, as you've highlighted, as like, of course, you don't like, you know, you want to make videos that are entertaining, but like, you know, it's a lot easier, in my view, to just do a channel that's dedicated to one subject or topic, because that way you've only got one particular audience that will come to you. But the trouble is, as like a single YouTuber, it can get quite boring to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like, you know, of course you got the vlogs, but you know, then you want to start doing other things. You want to start doing video game reviews, and like, oh, okay, I want to make a change. I want to like practice a few things. I want to practice a few of my skills. I'll review a movie, for instance, and then the following week I want to review a DVD or something like that. And like, as you can see, like your audience gets separated depending on what sort of video that you make, and it can be very difficult to please everybody. And I don't think that you can really please everybody. All you can do really is to make the videos interesting as you possibly can. Of course, your fans want variety, of course, but you do get some hardcore fans who want, like, you know, that they want this, and only that. You know, they only want like the one topic over and over again. But of course, as a YouTuber on your own or whatever, you want to do as a well, I wouldn't call myself an artist. I would never call myself an artist. I don't think I'm good enough, really. I wouldn't, but as a YouTuber or as a blogger or whatever you want to call me, or whatever you want to label me, I'd like to experiment. I'd like to make more than one type of video. I like to branch out a bit more, and but the trouble with that is, of course, you can't please everybody, and it can be very difficult to know where your main fans are. Of course, the best thing you can do really is ask people to give you feedback on what you're doing, and like, do you like this, and stuff like that, and of course you got the intention. Of course, I think everybody has the intention to bring in new audiences all the time by doing something new, and like, of course, you know, try to convince your current fan base to, like, okay, I'm usually do vlogs, but I'm going to try a movie review, for instance, and see, like, I'll tell you, this is the thing, this is my movie review. I've never done one before, but I want to, like, see if this new avenue of filmmaking works for me, and like, I'll try and convince the your own fan base to try, like, watch your new experimental content and stuff. But you know, I think that's the same for everybody. Would you agree? Is that the same situation with you?
Yeah, most definitely.
Cool stuff. So I know I'm not trying to take over the show, of course. I'm just relaying some of my experiences. I think this is like a baptism of fire, really. Once you get once you make a lot of videos and things, you get to experience different things, and like, you get to come through the hurdles that both me and Ben have come across since we were sort of veteran YouTubers, I guess, even though we're not particularly popular by a lot of the super duper the partner channels, who have like, I don't know, like several 100,000 subscribers apiece and stuff. But you know, we do our best, I think we like to say. But so yeah, this links into my next question I have for you. Are there any, over the years that you've been on YouTube, can you think of any bad situations that you come across while on YouTube? It can be anything. It can be like problems in the editing process, problems with like problematic YouTubers. Can you think of anything bad that stands out for you while making videos in the past several years?
There's been a few hiccups on the road, I guess, by, as you would like to call them now, by trolls, and you know, for the people who do bad comments. It used to get to me, but now I really don't care anymore. You know, it's even if I don't block them, whatever. You know, thank you haters for watching. You know, you give me another view. You know, it doesn't really bother me anymore. But at the time when I was new, there was a lot of people who, you know, did bad comments, and I thought I took it to heart then, you know. But then you just outgrow it, and you're like, oh, don't bother listening, reading, whatever, you know. And obviously, that has never stopped. I still come to bad comments here and there.
Just out of spite, really.
Yeah. There has been a few like people who copied my videos and done something to them, but you know, fair enough, haha, in some instance, but some is not much point to it. I'm not going to get into a lot because there has been quite a few, but you know, I'm still here. You know, I haven't quit yet. Like, you know, a lot of people who have had so much hatred, they've actually finished, you know, their accounts because they just can't handle.
Yeah, a lot of our I can name quite a few. You know, a few that I think.
Yeah, I don't think we should name anyone, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But like you know, you learn to ignore it after a time. But there must have been a situation where like this has really bothered me, and like I think it depends on how extreme you get them. Can you think of any really extreme examples?
Oh yeah, I have, but I'm not going to mention.
You don't have to elaborate who it was.
No,
but
I'm not going to mention or say anything about it. But it was extreme. But I actually went on a big hiatus for a while. So you know, then you just like, oh screw it, let's go back to making videos again. You know.
Yeah, so. I think it happens to everybody really, and like it's quite a baffling phenomenon really that's happened only in recent years. Like trolling, it's like it's pretty much entered it's a word that we use on a regular basis now when you're an internet blogger like ourselves. Can you imagine? I spend a lot of time thinking about this, but why? Can you think of any reason why people like to do this, by like spend time leaving bad comments? Is that how they get their kicks? Why? Can you think of any theories why?
You just said it there. It's just for kicks.
Just for kicks. Is that what you think?
You know, knock them down while they're still hurt. You know, but it's and we always know for people who does give bad comments, you click on their channel and what do you know? They don't have a YouTube videos, so they must be bad at them themselves. You know, that's my excuse. You know, why create an account and, you know, just for bullying? It is bullying. That's what it is. You know, so
yeah, exactly. Personally, of course, I've had a lot of problems with. I wouldn't call them like some of them are trolls, but some of the people that you come across, I've really got some serious psychological problems I can think, because you know you get different degrees. Like of course you've got like the people who like just like leave the one comment and like bugger off and never come back again. You've got that kind of level, should we call them level 1 troll. Then you've got like I don't know what sort of scale that you can operate on, but you got level 5, I guess, like should we call level 5 the top, like DEFCON 5 or whatever. You got level 5 troll where you've got like the one who persistently bugs you and persistently irritates you, and it's like the troll that really does give you the creeps or whatever. I think you've had one of those. I think you were trying to explain. You had one of those, and I know what situation you're on about, but I'm not going to elaborate. But that sort of situation, it gave me the chills in all honesty. Like thinking about like what that person basically trying to imitate you and mock you in a quite, you know, like quite. What's the word? Like not upsetting, but certainly disconcerting. Sort of fashion. It really does give you something to think about sometimes, and it's difficult, really. Like what advice we can give to people to you know the best, because it's not always the best situation to ignore a troll, is it? It's people say ignore it, block them, or whatever, but that's not. That's not always effective, is it? Because you can explain if you want.
No, I'm just saying. Obviously, when you know, it depends how old you are as well. I feel bad for the younger YouTubers and, you know, pre-teenage or just in the teenage years, who actually do you know, think this person is actually hurting them, and they do take it to heart, you know, and those are the ones who get hurt more than,
because it sticks with them the longest. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you know, that's all I can say is
you just say to people, you got to be careful out there on your own.
You just got to be careful, you know. Obviously this flag spamming button, so it does report to the company, but obviously, you know, they take a while to get back to you and all that. But you know, if you can't handle it, maybe you know.
It's in some cases, yes, but not everybody has the faculties to deal with it, though. Like, for instance, of course, as you said, with young YouTubers, they're the most vulnerable because you've got, like, of course, online predators, and of course that people, really young kids, boys and girls or whatever, who like starting up on fresh-faced on the internet, making their blogs and things, but you don't know who's exactly watching you.
Yeah.
You don't know who's sending you messages. It could be an online predator. We don't know. It might be just a general run-of-the-mill troll, but like people can take it to a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about here. I don't know whether you watched this. This was an episode recently on BBC Three. I don't know if you've heard of Richard Bacon on
No.
Radio 5. Well, anyway, he's a radio presenter. I'm quite a fan of his. He does a radio show on Radio 5 Live in the UK for our American listeners out there, if we've got any. Well, basically, on BBC Three, he did a programme where he talks about online trolls. I'll put a link to it in the show notes or the description on wherever you're watching this or listening to this, so you can watch it yourself. I think it's still on YouTube. Someone's posted it on YouTube, and you can watch it yourself. Where it basically goes into... He tries to track down his own troll that Richard has had for a long time, and this troll that he has got still has been harassing him for like. This isn't like a one-off thing on his Twitter or his Facebook or whatever. This is on his Twitter. This has been happening for over 9 months or so, and like been making really threatening comments, and like it keeps going on and on and on for months and months on end, and it was quite disturbing, really, to the lengths that some of these people go to and stuff. You know, it's trolling is like it isn't something to laugh about, really, and especially because me and Ben have been on here for, you know, internet for God knows how long, ages now, for several years. We know, I think we know most of the pitfalls because we've come across them ourselves. It's different. Like the best advice, of course, if you are if you're getting harassed by someone, the best thing you can do is block them and flag them and so on. But if you truly believe that you are in some sort of danger, best, especially for the younger kids out there doing your own vlogs and things, do tell someone like a teacher or a parent or whatever, because the internet, especially YouTube, it's a very, very cutthroat website. It's not all make a video, make millions of views, and like everybody likes you. It's a really brutal at times website where you can get chewed up, and like you can get psychological afflictions from the site because like someone that's taken a disliking to you. It could be one of your supposed school friends harassing you, or school bullies. They are bullies, as Ben said. Most of them are. But I don't want to talk about this too long because there's a ton of stuff you can say, but I will relay something that happened to me. Like Ben will know this already. This happened to me a while ago now, which basically effectively led me to... It almost finished me off, basically, as my YouTube career, effectively. It was when I was still operating on my old YouTube account. I did a video talking about... remember the earthquake in Haiti? Was it 2010? Was it? I can't remember.
Could be, yeah.
Or was it last year? I can't remember. It's quite a while ago now. But anyway, the earthquake in Haiti several months ago. I did a video about that where some game company, I won't say who it was effectively manipulating what happened in the news to try and garner more interest for their video game. And I was really angry about that, and I did a video about it, and I got a whole ton of hate mail from people from all across the globe, and it really did affect me, and it effectively led me to close down my original account, because I was distressed by it. I was no short of distressed by it, and it's a too common thing that happens to people. A lot of especially a few over the past friends we've met on YouTube have come and gone because of similar happenings that happened to you. So I will say this to people: if you're starting out on the internet, take the precautions, and like it toughens you up, really. You either toughen up or you leave the site altogether, and unfortunately a lot of people fall by the wayside because of it, really. So yeah, it happened to a lot of people. So yeah, I think that's it. That's enough on trolling. I think it was quite a depressing sort of subject, really, isn't it? But hopefully me and Ben are giving you decent advice on how to deal with those sort of problems, because we've been here a long time, and like, we're not that popular, but I think we know the rope. We know enough to give people advice and help you out whenever you can if you're just starting out. So feel free to ask us any questions in the comments or whatever. So okay, we'll move on to the next question, a more positive note, I think. So I know you are a big, massive Sonic the Hedgehog fan, so I've got a Sonic question just for you, Ben. Any particular I know you're a big fan of Sonic. Like, any particular highlights or any particular video game, or, well, what made you become a Sonic fan in the first place? I think that's the best place to start. What made you a fan in the first place?
And the best place is to start at the beginning. This was the time when I believe the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive was already out, and I was just getting into gaming. Don't even ask me how, why, I can't really remember. My first ever console was a Master System, and it was a pre-owned, I remember that, and it cost a lot for my parents to pick that up back in the day. And I had all these games with it, so, you know, I was preoccupied with that. And then one day I went to town, and I wanted to pick up a new game, and didn't know. I might have known who this Sonic character was, but, you know, I not much detail then. And I picked Sonic Chaos for the Master System, and that was actually the first Sonic game I owned. I'm not too sure if the first game Sonic I ever played, because I could have played Sonic 1 on the Mega Drive before then. But yeah, as soon as I picked Sonic Chaos, you know, from then on I've just been a massive Sonic fan. And that's the time when Sonic 2 came out, and Sonic was big, really big in the UK. You know, he had his own cartoon series, Sonic the Comic, which I used to buy. It was Sonic everything, you know, Sonic Duvet, Sonic lunchboxes, Sonic whatever. And so that's one of the earliest memory then, should I say, of how I became a Sonic fan. And later on down the line, my biggest highlight then was actually to own a Mega Drive, and I was very late owning a Mega Drive as well. But I did play it with my I played the Mega Drive with my friends who he had it before me, and that was I had the Mega Drive just at the same time when Sonic 3 came out, and yeah, Sonic 3 blew me away. You know, just the best game ever, and everybody has their favourite Sonic game. A lot of people prefer Sonic 2, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my favourite game of the Sonic series.
Cool stuff. And what about the anime? I know it has several TV series.
Yeah, I watched the. I didn't watch the Sonic. There was a few, wasn't there? I watched the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe it was called, which was really, you know, just looking back, it's basically stupid, you know, not the best version to watch, because there was another adaptation which was more serious, I guess, and more action. While this
Sat AM, is that the one you're on about?
That's correct. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I watched it on TV when I had the chance, but I never owned the videos or anything like that. I was watching the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
cool stuff. Okay, while we're on the topic of Sonic, like I know you've played a lot of the video, you got most of the video games in the series. In recent years, a lot of the critics have been panning a lot of Sonic's recent releases. Is it fair to say that Sonic has been on a downturn in recent years, or do you see him returning to form anytime soon, or already has? What do you think on this?
I think he has returned to form with the release of Sonic Generations, and if they keep bringing games, you know, I don't know how they could do Sonic Generations 2 then, because Sonic Generations is basically an anniversary of him, you know. But you know, if it's the same 2D, 3D, you know, how it's played, because I think Sonic Generations is best gameplay since back in the Mega Drive or Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. If they keep it on that form, and instead of Sonic 4 and the Wii releases of the games, except for Sonic Colors, I can't comment on that, and the dreadful Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, which I've never played, but you know, that was the glitchiest game and the worst game, you know, being criticised of the character. So you know, hopefully he is back on track. But I do admit that he did go downhill since Sonic Adventure 2, because Sonic Adventure 2 was another highlight. I remember while I bought the Dreamcast, I enjoyed that game, even though the camera angles wasn't the best, and the Knuckles levels wasn't the greatest as well. But you know, I remember playing that over and over, and even for the music as well. The music, or the soundtrack, shall we say, for the Sonic adventure, for the whole Sonic series, I believe. If it's a bad game, I bet you will enjoy the music, because the soundtrack is amazing.
I'll relay my experiences of Sonic. The last Sonic game I played, I remember, the last one I remember liking a lot was, of course, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the GameCube version, which is basically the Dreamcast version with a few Nintendo-ized extras, which was pretty cool actually. Like there was the, I don't know whether this was on the original Dreamcast version, but in the GameCube one, you had an extra thing where you can get, you know, when you beat up these enemies and you get these chaos drives, like these little glowing sort of test tube things, which you can use to power up these Chow things, these little creatures, and you can basically put these creatures on the Game Boy Advance of Sonic Advance, the Game Boy Advance game, and you could level up your Chow on the move, which is a pretty cool feature, and you did that by connecting up the system to the GameCube with a Game Boy Advance to GameCube GameCube cable. I don't think many people used it actually, because those cables were hard to find. I think you could only, but then again, the GameCube was quite hard to find everywhere really, because it didn't sell all that particularly well. It was a cool feature where you can level up your Chow and stuff, and it was pretty cool. Even though a lot of the critics say it's not, it was okay. A lot of critics say it wasn't the best one. I don't think it's the best one. A lot of people say the Mega Drive ones are the best, like probably Sonic 2 or Sonic CD. I can't attest to Sonic CD, I haven't played it myself, but I have played the Game Boy Advance, of course, re-releases of those games. I played 1 and 2, and I think I played 3 as well. 3 was good as well, but I think 2 was my favourite of the 2D ones. But most of the 3D ones, from 2000 onwards, were pretty much abysmal, apart from 1 or 2. Sonic Heroes was abysmal. Sonic 2006 on Xbox was abysmal. Sonic Heroes was abysmal. So the general trend is it was generally pretty awful. But there you go. So yeah, I think I don't have any more questions. That's because I made the idea for this show quite late, actually. I've only just talked to Ben about the idea for this actual podcast very recently, in fact. And hopefully for future episodes, when I get around to recording them with different people, I will have questions from people that have sent me questions via Twitter and Facebook. So I bet there's a lot of questions that a lot of your fans, Ben, that have got questions, but we didn't get round to asking them in this show. So hopefully, as this is the pilot, of course, this is just to test the waters. I think it's gone very well so far, and I think I've covered a lot of the bases. But for next time, once I announce whoever I'm going to interview next, feel free to ask us any questions. Well, send me the questions that you want me to ask the guest that I'm going to have on next time through Twitter. So just my Twitter handle is James Petford, so just search for me. You can add me on Twitter if you want and send me questions that way, or feel free to post comments on this video so I can relay the questions into the next episode. I don't know who I'm going to interview yet, so you might want to wait until I've actually made an announcement on my Twitter who my interviewee is going to be. Hopefully I can garner more interest. I've got a few ideas who I'm going to ask, but I never know if I can actually get them to help us out in the show. But all the same, I'd like to thank BDT87 for helping me out with episode 1 of this podcast.
No problem.
Thank you again. No worries about that. Do you think it's gone okay?
I think it's gone. Yeah, I think it's gone okay.
We've asked quite a few questions. It's lasted nearly an hour, so I think there's plenty to be getting on with. And of course, if we've got any more questions, I don't. Or if I can't get any more guests on the show, or I'll run out of guests, I won't hesitate to bring Ben back on again to do another. So maybe any questions that you want to ask, you can ask him straight away. So feel free to send them to me. I can relay those questions to him, so I can ask him on our next podcast, whenever that will be. So think away, folks, and post them in the comments box. So thank you, folks, again for listening. Thank you for watching this on YouTube or Blip TV or our specialised podcast page. For this special episode, for this brand new series that I've just started, it should be available on iTunes by the time you're listening to this, or if not, just go to our Jellycast podcast page, which is in the description of this video that you're watching, or wherever you're watching it or listening it to. Click on it, and you can just download the show as an MP3 directly into your iTunes. So we'll get all that hopefully all that will be sorted when this goes live on the internet. Thank you very much for listening or watching, viewers. Thank you again, Ben, for joining me on this show. We'll see you guys next time.